What is up, YouTube, and welcome back once again to the channel. Before we get into today's video, make sure to subscribe and sack that like button. Today's video is going to be the top 10 Kansas City Chiefs of all time. I've already done top 10 of every single position of all time. Now I'm going to do top 10 Kansas City Chiefs of all time. I think the Chiefs are going to be the only team I do this for because it's my personal favorite team, so I'm doing it for them, but I already did the top 10 of each position. So, without further ado, let's begin. The criteria for this pretty much, it's very subjective to compare different positions, yet alone different eras, but the criteria will be, if they were with how long they were with the Chiefs, the team success when they were there, statistical production, and all the stuff I took into account for the top 10 of each position. So, coming in at number 10, linebacker, Will Liner. Will Liner played with the Kansas City Chiefs his entire career. He played there from 1967 all the way through 1977. He went to a total of 8 Pro Bowls in his career. They didn't record tackles back then. He had 4 sacks his whole career, but 27 interceptions. He was a great coverage linebacker. Coming in at number 9, Alex Smith. And this may surprise some of you, but Alex Smith is one of the more underrated quarterbacks, I believe, in NFL history. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback of all time, but I think he's a guy that gets he gets overlooked a lot of times, and this guy was great, and he was great in all three teams he was on, but with his years in Kansas City, he was there from 2013 through 2017, 5 total seasons, and as a Kansas City Chief, his record was 50-26. His completion rating was 65%. He had a total of 102 touchdown passes as a Chief, along with only 33 interceptions. He led the Chiefs to their first playoff victory in almost 2 decades at the time. Alex Smith really was one of the big parts of revitalizing and changing the culture of the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Chiefs had a lot of rough years before the Alex Smith-Andy Reid era, and Alex Smith was able to help turn that around. Coming in at number 9, wide receiver Otis Taylor, who won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs all the way back in Super Bowl 4. Otis Taylor, just a classic time Chiefs player, one of the better wide receivers of all time. He didn't make it onto my top 10, but this guy was all-around beast for his era, and in 1971 he had 1,110 yards receiving, which was considered insane for the era, along with 1,297 yards in 1966. Man was just an all-around beast. Coming in at number 7, Bobby Bell, who made my top 10 of all time for defensive linemen. Bobby Bell, just a great pass rusher. He was part of that Super Bowl Chiefs team. Coming in at number 6, Len Dawson, who was the Kansas City Chief quarterback for when the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl and one of only their 2 Super Bowls. He went to 2 Super Bowls with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he was there even before they were known as the Kansas City Chiefs. He was there when they were known as the Dallas Texans. He actually wasn't a Kansas City Chief his entire career. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the first 3 years of his career. Then he went to the Cleveland Browns for the next 2 years, and then he was with the Chiefs in 1962, but they were known as the Dallas Texans. So he was only there when they were he was only a Dallas Texan for 1 year, and then he was there from 1962 to 1975 with the Kansas City Chiefs. As a Kansas City Chief, his total record was 93, 56, and 8, and had a total of 237 touchdown passes. Len Dawson, one of the all-time great Chiefs quarterbacks, was considered the GOAT Chiefs quarterback for a long time until Patrick Mahomes came along. Coming in at number 5, Will Shields, who protected the great Joe Montana when he played with the Kansas City Chiefs for 2 years. Will Shields, one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. Coming in at number 4, Derek Thomas. He obviously made it onto my top 10 linebackers of all time list, and now here he is in top 5 of the Chiefs list. Derek Thomas, just great. He could rush the passer. He could drop back into coverage. He was a 2-time All-Pro. He won Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he went to a plethora of Pro Bowls in his career. He was with the Chiefs his entire career, had a total of 126.5 sacks throughout his career. Coming in at number 3, Travis Kelsey, who made it to number 2 all time on my tight ends list. Travis Kelsey, obviously still playing with the Chiefs to this day, is on pace to break almost every single tight end record in the book. He's had 7 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He's had 6 straight 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Travis Kelsey, an all-around beast, a red zone beast. He has a total of 57 career touchdowns. Travis Kelsey will be the greatest tight end of all time when it's all said and done. Then Tony Gonzalez coming in at number 2, another tight end. Tony Gonzalez didn't finish his career with the Kansas City Chiefs, was with the Falcons for the last few years of his career. Obviously, he had that game where he came back to Kansas City and dunked on the goalpost, and that didn't go well with fans. But this guy put up monster numbers as a Kansas City Chief, and this guy will always be remembered as a Chief. He was considered maybe the greatest Chief of all time until somebody came along, and we'll get to that person in a moment. Gonzalez tallied 15,127 yards. And now for number 1, the GOAT Chief, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, Patrick Mahomes has already earned the greatest player of all time title. And that's not because he didn't have a lot of competition. You would think someone who in his first 4 years as a starter, it's because he didn't have a lot of competition within his franchise. No, he's just been that freaking special in his first 4 years as a starter, and first 5 years in total. In his first 4 years as a starter, Patrick Mahomes is 50-13 for a record. He has a 66.1 completion rating, basically 20,000 yards passing, 151 touchdowns to just 37 interceptions, a QB rating of 105.8. He's already won an MVP in his career. He's a league MVP. He's won a league MVP. He won a Super Bowl MVP, including a Super Bowl championship. He's taken his team to the conference championship game all 4 years since he's been the starting quarterback. And overall record in the playoffs is 8-3. He has a total of 28 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions in the postseason. Patrick Mahomes is just an all-around beast. This guy can make any throw from any place in the field. He has everything you look for in a quarterback. Good leadership, just strong arm, mobility, and just a complete overall understanding of the game. Like I said, Patrick Mahomes already has so many accolades under his name in the first 4 years, and he could easily have already 2 or 3 Super Bowls under his belt. Unfortunately, things just haven't gone the way that you would have wished. But Patrick Mahomes has already been to the Pro Bowl 4 times in his career. He's already been a first-team All-Pro twice. Patrick Mahomes is the best Kansas City Chief of all time. But that's pretty much it for today's video. Comment down below if you agree that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT Kansas City Chief. Also, if you want me to do more videos like this for other teams, we need to get this video to 10 likes. That's a challenge, but let's try. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time.